immediately. There goes Jordan Morris right inside the box. He's taken on and taking the ball away is Kofi Opari. But a nice move immediately from Andreas Evenschitz, who really had a tough match against New England. Ziggy wants him to move a little forward, little change of pace. Evenschitz immediately, 20 seconds in, finding Jordan Morris cutting into the box. Great sign for Sounders fans. Dylan Remick tosses the ball in for Evenschitz, cleared away by DC United. Not past Zach Scott, who heads it forward. Roldan up aggressively with Aaron Kovar, who's flashing a little bit of confidence after that first goal. Evenschitz swings it in. Nothing doing all the way across. Not made for Roldan. All the way across to Taylor Kemp. I know it's 1 minute in, Steve, but pretty aggressive start by the Rave Green.
You know, I want to say we've already seen more from Evenschitz in the first minute here than we saw in his 50 minutes or so in New England. It's a very good sign. He's playing higher up. It's good to see him there.
Kofar finds Mears, who's crossing over right in the middle for Jordan Morris. Flicked back by Opari. Hamid gets it, scoops that up, but nice ball by Mears. Nice, another move from Aaron Kovar. This is exactly what Ziggy's looking for, not what Ben Olsen's looking for early on. Literally a minute and a half into the match, the Sounders have been a dangerous 2-3 times thus far. Nick DeLeon right to the middle. This is a couple veterans on this group, but a really light on experience for the bench for Ben Olsen. A couple guys have barely made minutes, so he's working with the same group. In this group out here, most of them go 90. Nick DeLeon does. He's outside, now inside to Jared Jeffrey. DC United. Now they find Nagel. Cut down by Brad Evans. Evans finds Evenschitz, already more space. Now he's looking for Morris, who almost had the right side of Opari. Hamid comes out to help Opari, but they're looking for that long ball immediately, Steve.
It's obvious. The Sounders' game plan is exactly as Ziggy said. They're going to go for it. And in the first 3 minutes or so here, it's been a very good sign because Sounders have tried to get him behind at least 2 or 3 times already. So Jordan Morris, if he's active, Andreas Evenschitz has the ability to find him. He's got to keep making those runs.
What a tackle by Ozzy Alonso, taking it away from Acosta. Ozzy goes down, heads it a little bit to himself, and pops back up. Now he's knocked down by Jeffrey. But boy, good 1-2 with Ozzy Alonso and Dylan Remick. Ozzy down on his hind end, strapping his boots back up, but boy, Ozzy has just not missed a beat this year. Looking good. Zach Scott looks like he's going to help him up. 4 minutes in, 0-0. DC United have yet to get inside the 30 of the Rave Green. Referee Rivero wants Ozzy Alonso to move forward, get the game going. Zach Scott's next to Ozzy now as the ball's in play. There goes Zach, there goes Ozzy. Brad Evans, tough time controlling the ball, but he's back to Stefan Fry. Espindola hurries up Fry. Long ball. Oh, bad play. Bad pass by Ozzy. Here's Acosta looking on to take on Ozzy. Espindola crosses it in. Nice cross to Nagel. He goes early post out. Dangerous. A giveaway within 25 yards of Seattle's goal was almost something DC United took advantage of.
You just can't do that around Fabian Espindola. He's a very, very active player. Played against him several times. Once he gets into the wide channels, he's good at finding his teammates, and knowing Lamar, he's going to want that one back. A great chance against his former team. Lamar's very good in the air, and so if he has that chance again, he definitely gets that on target. It's a let-off for the Sounders.
Lamar just needed that to go by his head a little more, slip it by his head, and he goes far post. He went near post and was too near, a couple of yards. You know, Espindola, he's 6 years with RSL, always dangerous. Nice little flick by Morris looking for Kovar, finds Evenschitz. Sean Franklin crushes that away. He also gets part of Evenschitz. I think Franklin, he got part of it also, as he's just walking away a little gingerly, but Evenschitz looks to be holding his right side. Little collision as Sean Franklin, the 31-year-old, also someone Sounder fans would be familiar with from the LA Galaxy. Evenschitz holding his right hip, putting his arms in the air. looking for a little bit of extra oxygen in this muggy. You're dressed really nice. I pardon my dress wear, Steve.
You know, Matt, you're forgiven, but I had to be on TV, so that's why. If I was doing just audio, I'd be doing exactly just like you.
Long ball looking for Espindola. Zach Scott again with another clearance. Now to the right, here goes Nagel. Nagel with Ozzy on him. Ozzy and Nagel know each other so well. Flicked over the top. Nothing doing. And now a foul on Franklin. Ozzy Alonso goes down. Honest player Ozzy. He gets the call from referee Rivero. Rivero calls a few more fouls per game than most. He's about 27 fouls. The average right around 24. He's at 27 fouls, close to 4 yellows a game. Keep an eye on penalties. We're getting to learn that, unfortunately. 6 penalties against the Sounders this year. 28 in 60 MLS matches Rivero has called, so we'll keep an eye on that. Apari, nudge, and Morris. Kovar with the ball in the box. Here's Evenshitz, gets a loose ball. Cleared away right at the line by DC United. Sarvis out wide to find Franklin. Poor touch by Franklin. He steps on Morris's foot. That's going to hurt, but play on. Goal kick for Bill Hamid. Gorgeous day, gorgeous week here in DC. Really muggy for you Seattleites who can't do the humidity like this broadcaster named Matt Johnson. I'm in a white t-shirt. I am dripping wet, but we'll make it. It's a great old school is the word I'll use. You played here before, Steve.
Yes.
This is an old school building.
It's a very old school stadium, but very historic. And as soon as you get out there, you sense that history. Was fortunate to win the Open Cup here, actually.
Costa turns Zach Scott all around, but there's Ozzy right behind it. We'll talk about that 2009 winner. I believe Levesque and Latu were the goal scorers. Correct?
Freddie Montero and Roger Levesque.
Thank you. I know Latu had the assist at the end. That's right. He went to the touchline, crossed it over. That's where I got Latu. Seattle with possession all the way back to Stephen Fry. Very entertaining match here. 8 minutes in, 0-0 Seattle and DC United. DC tied for 5th place in the East. That's 16 points. That one barely make it in the West. As you know, very competitive West. Sounders with 13 points in the 9th place, looking for a positive moment before this 2-week break. Roldan into Evenshitz right at the middle of the park. Oh, unfortunate, looking for Morris. Head ball down by Roldan, looking for Dylan Remick. He'll save it, but Franklin gets to it first. Now Roldan tries to cross. Evenshitz knocks it forward. Ozzy with possession 30 yards out. Roldan, short pass to Remick that unfortunately Acosta now gets behind Zach Scott. He's in the middle. He passed it to Espindola. 18 yards out, drives it right to the right of Stephen Fry. Goal kick. Again, another loose ball. Zach Scott's pickpocket by Acosta. That's twice now. Acosta 5'3". He's very dangerous, and as Steve, you just said, you can't get Espindola that sort of time and space.
The only surprise with that play there was that it wasn't at least on target. It's on his left foot. He's one-on-one pretty much, drags his shot wide, but the sound is you cannot play away from home and continue to give the home team easy chances. Home teams are generally going to create more chances than the away team, but they don't need a helping hand. And right now, Seattle's doing a very good job going forward, but it's defensively where they've been solid all year, where they're actually struggling right now.
Good point. Defensively, the Sounders, as Brad Evans told me yesterday, they've not been letting in the goals. It's 1-0, 2-1, 2-0. Little shove in the back from Acosta to Zach Scott. He's going to lose that bottle every time. I had to look up Acosta before the match. He just sticks out at 5'3". Young man from Argentina. He played for Boca Juniors and came up with the youth system. 20 appearances with Boca before he was loaned out to Estudiantes. So he definitely has the skill to be here at DC. 10 minutes in, 0-0 Seattle, DC United. Thanks for having us. If you found us here on SoundersFC.com, we appreciate it. Steve Zakawani. My name is Matt Johnson. Sounders in possession. Great movement in the middle of the park. There's Roldan looking for Morris. He'll make Opari run all the way to the right of Hamid. Side of the box, Roldan. Will he chip it? Nope, drops it back to Freeberg. Freeberg's one of his first touches. He's harassed by Espindola. Ozzy, Roldan, out wide to Mears. Very impressed at Seahawks possession this early. Mears wants to take on his man. He does, down the right-hand side. Nick DeLeon knocks it off of Mears, unfortunately. Mears has his arms up, can't believe the call the AR made. AR says it went off Mears. Mears says no. Bobby Boswell comes over. Mears says, come on, you know it went off him. So be it. Throw in DC early on. Love the pressure, Steve.
I like what the Sounders are doing offensively. You can clearly see Christian Roldan and Eric Freeberg taking up higher positions in front of Alonso. It's allowing the Sounders to dominate possession so far. Evenchich is causing all kinds of problems because he's tucking in from the left. And so far, looks like the Sounders are going to have their way with DC's backline. Just got to sort it out defensively.
Well done by Zach Scott as he cuts the corner with Lamar Nagel, then twirls him around and back pass to Ozzy and Brad. Still in the middle of the park. Freeberg outside to Tyrone Mears. Comes back into Ozzy Alonso. Finds Roldan quickly. He's got Nagel on his back. Jared Jeffrey gets the loose ball. Espindola all the way back. Pass. That's unlike him as it goes out of bounds as he was looking for Taylor Kemp. You don't see that often by Espindola. Boy, Keith Costigan thought I was serious when I said, what did I say? Well, how did I say? I don't even know how I said it. I was joking and he corrected me.
I remember, yeah.
In the car as I do my pronunciations to drive everyone nuts. Espindola. That's what I said. Keith jumped on me. Little ball down to Evenchit's throw in. That was off the head of Sean Franklin. Easy call. Dylan Remick will take the throw. He's looking for Morris. He has Evenchit's. Roldan. There's Freeberg, makes a run into the box. Freeberg shielded off the ball. Nicely done, but unfortunately out over the touchline for a goal kick. Boy, you hate to compare games, but more activity, more movement, and as you said, Steve, more pushing forward than we saw in most. Obviously, the early goal by Kovar, and then New England took over in that first half.
Absolutely. The Sounders didn't make a start quite as good as this one at the weekend, but it was a good start. And what happened is, after they got the goal, they began to drop off. What we want to see tonight is, can they sustain this kind of pressure, this kind of performance, possession, tenacity for 90 minutes and really put pressure on DC. But they've got to be happy with the start they've made.
DC with possession after the ball gets knocked around after Hamid goal kick. Searching all the way right below us to Franklin. He knocks it right to the right for Lamar Nagel. He's taken on by Zach Scott. Well done, Zach Scott. Plays defense, shoulders off Nagel, gets the ball. Oh, that's a tough call on Morris as Morris and Opari are going for it. Looked like a 50-50 ball to my eyes. Called on Morris. First foul of the evening on Seattle. Sarvis will drop all the way back. He'll sit in front of the back four for DC. He'll knock the ball around here now. Opari from Sarvis. Sarvis not much with his feet. He's a big man. Franklin looking for De Leon. There's Brad Evans. Mears and Acosta go for it. Acosta looks like he gets the best of it. Acosta being taken on by Freeberg. Little man, that's got to be offsides, and it is. First offside for DC. It's Espindola. Espindola searches in the back. Rivera wants the ball played all the way back, and Stefan Fry says fine with me to Ozzy. Zach Scott, Dylan back to Ozzy. Dylan Remick back in for Ziggy, his third start of the year. Young man out of Brown University. Sounders with possession in the back of the park. Ozzy right at midfield. He'll spray it here to the left. Dylan Remick, little touch to himself. He'll come back and use Roldan. Quickly to Ozzy. Sprays it all the way to the right. Nice movement by the Sounders, making DC really move. Mears inside to Freeberg, just inside DC's half. Now Mears will chip it to Jordan Morris. Nice touch with him. Trying to cut around Bobby Boswell. Now he cuts inside. Here's Freeberg. Roldan with the shot. Oh, just to the left of the goal. Oh, how it didn't hit the post, I don't know. Goal kick, Bill Hamid.
Great move by the Sounders from left to right. They were very patient. Jordan Morris makes a great inside out run. Tyrone Mills finds him, and once that ball gets to Eric Freeberg's feet, you know if you run, he's going to find you. Rodon makes the run. Freeberg finds him. He's very unlucky with the finish. Goes across goal as you're taught as a young kid. Does the right thing. Just doesn't quite nestle the ball inside that far post. But the Seattle Sounders have to be extremely pleased with their opening 15 minutes here. They look as good as they had looked all season. Of course, I said that on the weekend, and they end up losing after the first 15 minutes.
Now let's see, that was also the great part as Nagel gets behind Dylan Remick, searching ball in the middle, but Mears does no problem with it out to it. Costa right about 18 yards out. Franklin, Jeffrey inside to Sarvis, taken on by Kovar. Kovar slips and falls. Sarvis will use his man all the way to the left as Taylor Kemp, the left fullback, cuts inside, not a good pass. Freeberg gets all of that. Ozzy Alonso now gets away from two DC United members. De Leon sizes him up as he pushes it back to Mears. The other great part about Roldan, Steve, was that first time, he didn't waste any time. It was a one-timer before defense could get on top of him.
Absolutely, and you wouldn't have seen that had Ziggy Schmidt started his usual formation of two defensive mids and one attacking mid. The fact that he's given the freedom to Christian Roldan and Eric Freeberg to get up in the attack, support Jordan Morris. That's why you saw that it was Freeberg's pass to Roldan, and it was a fantastic move by the Sounders, just very unlucky with a finish.
And as we're watching that, we're watching it now. Freeberg is taking Ozzy's spot, and Ozzy and Roldan are in front. So at some point, there's always going to be two midfielders and then the three up top. It's an exciting formation for a road trip. Very aggressive, as Steve says, for Ziggy Schmidt. 17 minutes in, 0-0. Dylan Remick with the throw into Ozzy Alonso. Hassled, harassed by Espindola, and fouled by Fabian Espindola. He and Acosta, both from Buenos Aires. Great with their feet. We've seen Espindola for years. You played against him. He was magical there for a number of years at RSL.
Always a dangerous player. He's one of those guys where if he's on his game, on his day, he can really hurt you.
Mears with a nice run, big cross, looking for Morris and even Schitz, but too close to Hamid. But an aggressive run down the right-hand side. Hamid had no problem with that. He's a great story too. Bill Hamid, serious knee injury, surgery in January, made his last start last Friday versus Kansas City.
On his day, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in MLS, if not the best. And so he's huge for DC, getting him back there. He's missed a lot of time, but he's still young. He's Radio US international. And for the Sounders, they'll hope he has an off night tonight, but on his day, he's a fantastic young goalkeeper.
Boy, for his first game back, he had some amazing saves. At Sporting KC, comes back, and first match for him is a shutout. He's got 2 caps for the US. He had his 39th career shutout last Friday. Morris gets a little run on a throw from Remick deep in the corner. He's got a Pari on him. Back to Remick, knocked out of bounds for a Sounder throw by Lamar Nagel. Throw in right away. Remick to Roldan. Can't find a man. Little handball not called on Nagel. Acosta comes out with it. He'll find Espindola. Acosta. Back to Jeffrey. Jeffrey points the way. He says go over to Kemp, so they use left back Taylor Kemp. Sarvis gets around Freeberg, but that's a bad ball. Roldan immediately on it. 5 Sounders attacking immediately for the Rave Green. Bad pass to Ozzy Alonso that Espindola comes all the way back to his credit. Boy, Ben Olsen wants his team out. He wanted to be the aggressor, and he's being pressured and pushed back. This isn't the start he wanted. Another poor pass, this one by Franklin. Just puts his arms up. Ozzy Alonso, middle of the park, in DC United's end. Roldan, Remick right below us in front of United's bench. Good defense by Lamar Nagel. Roldan inside to Ozzy. Roldan said, I've had enough of this side. Over to Brad Evans. He's got a couple guys. He'll use Mears to his right. Mears looking for Kovar. A little too far to his left. Taylor Kemp picks it up. Finds Jeffrey. Franklin. Nagel in front of his bench. Acosta, he'll make Franklin run now. Franklin down the right-hand side, the right backs. Got Zach Scott in front of him, right in the middle, but cleared away by Brad Evans. Straight up in the air, not a back pass, so no problem. Stephen Fry picks up. And he wants Dylan Remick to get going. Acosta's on him. Boy, Apari grabs him. Morris doesn't get the call. Long ball. Don't know if Morris could have got that, but that was pretty well defended by Apari.
Smart defending by Apari. It's never going to be called for obstruction. Just gets his body in between Morris and the ball. He doesn't want a foot race in that moment there, so prevents a lot of running. We don't have the possession stats in front of us, but the Sounders have to be approaching the high 50s. They've really possessed the ball well, moved it around, and so far it looks like a very, very winnable game for the Sounders. Can they get their noses in front and make this possession pay?
Dylan Remick with the header off a long ball to Evenshitz. Will he drop it? He'll try to drop it. Espindola gets there first. Zach Scott forced to knock it out of bounds. Quick throw in by Acosta. Espindola still on his tail. He finally gets up. Acosta. Espindola. Trying to get over to Dylan Remick. Nothing doing. We're in the 22nd minute. Thanks so much for listening here on SoundersFC.com. Steve Zakuani. My name's Matt Johnson, 0-0. And as Steve said, Ziggy's got to be happy with this. Franklin, right-hand side, throw in, looking for Lamar Nagel. He's double teamed by both Zach Scott and Dylan Remick. Long ball out to Morris. Morris is using his back end to push Apari. Apari doesn't move. Here comes Sarvis once again. Franklin knocks down Roldan. The referee comes up. He'll get the call. Franklin says he was holding my shirt. Referee Rivera said, no, you knocked him down, son.
That's one of the examples of the referee's refereeing style there. For me, that's one of those you let go. Both players are kind of into it. Their battling is a physical play. Brings back DC United. It's fortunate for the Sounders because DC could have been in there, but it's the kind of referee he is. A lot of stop-start, and so far it's been a free-flowing game, so I'm hoping that the referee allows that to continue.
Great observation, Steve, because I didn't see a call offside on Jordan Morris. I didn't see a call there on Franklin as they kind of got tangled up, and Roldan, the smaller man, went down, and the Sounders got the call. We'll take it all day. But to your point, maybe that's why he averages almost 27 fouls called per game. Zach Scott looking for a long ball. He gets it first every time. So does Ozzy. Right to Freeberg. Flicks it out wide to Mears. Mears again wants Morris to run. Very direct tonight. A lot of long balls. More long balls than we've seen in the last few, Steve.
Absolutely is. And the good thing about it is they're mixing it up. The Sounders know when to keep it short. 1, 2, 3, 4 passes. But at the right time, they're playing Morrison.
There's again for Morris from Freeberg, but nothing doing as Morris could barely get anything on it with great defense again by Apari. Flicked it right into Hamid's hands. Hamid was perfectly placed. Really not too dangerous. As Morris is getting a huge workout here, 24 minutes in. Nick De Leon now with possession. Short pass to Nagel, but it gets around Zach Scott. Great tackle by Dylan Remick. Upends, gets the ball and upends Nagel. Sounders with possession. Mears, Evans. Stephen Fry clears it away. Looking for Aaron Kovar. He and Acosta both miss time their jump. Loose ball. Evans picks it up. Freeberg all the way back to Stephen Fry. I'd go over 50-55%, Steve. I'd say 60-40 right now possession-wise. But again, doesn't mean anything if you don't put it in the back of the net, and that's what Sounder fans are looking for right now.
Absolutely. They've got to make Bill Hamid work. Had a couple of good looks, but nothing that's really tested the goalkeeper for DC United. And Seattle Sounders at this point, they're possessing the ball really well. It's been a good first 25 minutes, but still, you want to see Aaron Culver a little bit more involved. You want to see even just a lot more involved as well. Jordan Morris, you got to love what he's doing. Lots of running in behind, lots of energy, really stretching the DC United centre-backs, but it hasn't really generated great goal-scoring opportunities aside from the one Christian Roldan had.
Freeberg fouls Sarvis. Sarvis over the ball inside the Seattle end. Right about 10 yards in from midfield. He's got Franklin to his right, De Leon to his left. He's also got the big men. There's 2, 4, 6 men right at the 18 for Sarvis. He'll go to his left, looking for Taylor Kemp, the left back. Out goes Kovar. Nice pressure. He has to drop it all the way back to midfield. Nick De Leon. De Leon uses Sarvis where they started. Sarvis to the right. Espindola to take on Remick. He gets around him, but Brad Evans, a great header right about 12-yard mark. Sarvis beats Roldan to the ball. Espindola again to take on Remick. One step over, cuts inside, does a little better. And I believe from my angle that's going to be the first corner kick for DC United.
Dangerous player, but that's what Fabian Espindola does. He's very, very good starting centrally, but floating out wide, making a couple runs. You saw 2 examples there. Not afraid to take guys on and be very direct.
DC with their first corner. Espindola over it. Great ball. There's we're just over the top by Opari, but I believe Rivero saw what I saw. He's a little closer. No, he didn't. Stephen Fry was being held back by Nick De Leon. I thought that was the call. Instead, it's going to be another corner kick. Oh, Lord. Stephen Fry had nowhere to go as he was being hassled by De Leon. Wow.
It's really close. The header could have easily ended up in the back of the net. Takes a deflection and goes out of play.
Wow, that's why he's playing defense too, because that was a wide open goal for Opari. Spindola over it once again. Another dangerous movement. Gets around Zach Scott. Shot by Lamar Nagel. Another shot over the bar. First one got chopped down. Second one was a high volley up over the top. Seattle's got to get that situated because that was 2 dangerous movements on set pieces. Set pieces have been tough for Seattle this year. And they got away with the first one. I thought DC United got away with the foul, not to just harp on it, but did you not see Stephen Fry kind of being held there?
It looked like Stephen Fry was being held, and if there's any referee you expect to call that, it's this one, who seems to be whistle happy. But for the Sounders, very fortunate that Opari heads that and misses the target, because if that's Espindola or Lamar Nagel, one of the forwards, it's an empty net, balls in the back of the net, and for all their good work, you can be down 1-0. But that's why set pieces are important, and the Sounders haven't done well this year. Traditionally, they've been good, not so much this year. You can dominate a game, it takes 1 corner kick, a header, and you're behind. So very important to go ahead while you're dominating.
Freeberg looking for Morris. He goes up. So does Hamid. So does Opari. Back to Roldan. 25 yards. Little loose ball. Now Opari's going to clear it free as far as Espindola. Back to Franklin. He'll huck it all the way to midfield. There's Zach Scott, who's going to win that every time. Jared Jeffrey with the ball, looking for Nagel. Nagel wants Jeffrey to run. He doesn't use him. Instead of go backside. Taylor Kemp all the way up from his left backside. He's taking on Mears. He'll chip it. Nothing doing. Didn't look as dangerous as it was because it was a lofted ball to Jared Jeffrey. No power. Jeffrey was leaning back. That was going nowhere. Not only Ozzy was right there, but Stephen Fry had position.
But it's another good attack from DC United, and slowly but surely the home team is now beginning to find their feet, string some passes. You're seeing that attacking group of Acosta, Lamar Nagel, Fabian Espindola. They're starting to get involved in the game, find the ball. It's asking a few questions of the Sounders, and the way to counteract that for me is for the Sounders to go back to what they've done so well in the first 25 minutes. Dominate that midfield triangle, possess the ball, find Jordan Morris over the top when you can, and really ask questions of DC United's back line.
30 minutes, Zach Scott being chased by, once again, the Argentine, Espindola. Seattle with possession. Roldan now knocked down. There's one more time. Another shot by Espindola. Gathered in by Stephen Fry, and all of a sudden DC United are putting their foot right on this match. Not only the possession, but more and more dangerous movements.
But this is MLS. It's very, very rare for a team to dominate for 90 minutes. You always know at some point the other team, whether they're home or away, is going to bring it. You're going to have to weather the storm at some point. Seattle Sounders are doing that just now, but again, it's what we saw at the weekend. They begin to go away from what they're doing, which is possessing the ball and being dangerous in the attacking third. They stop doing that, invite teams to attack them, New England took advantage of it. DC haven't yet, but there are signs that the DC offensive group is beginning to come to life.
Sounders still in possession in their half. Roldan, Freeberg, Ozzy, back to Roldan. Roldan near side here to Zach Scott. Zach Scott looking for Evenshitz. That goes around Apari. Evenshitz goes down. He looks like he's holding his shin as he ran into the big man Apari. Ozzy Alonso heads it, but Bobby Boswell picks up that loose ball. Little triangle for DC United. Jared Jeffrey, Boswell. Now out wide to Taylor Kemp. Kemp inside to Sarvis. Sarvis looking for Espindola. Nice little back heel by Roldan. Evenshitz. Evenshitz wants to take on Jeffrey. He does. Knocked out by Sarvis. 32 minutes. 0-0. RFK cooling down. I'm a sweaty mess. No one cares.
Well, we both are, Matt. You know,
You're not.
I am. I'm just hiding it well. We're both sitting here, not running around. I can't imagine what it's like for those players out there.
Ozzy Alonso, big switch to Tyrone Mears on the right-hand side. He's got Kovar. He'll use Freeberg. Freeberg has a couple different options. Touches it to Roldan. The Sounders are going backwards to Evans at midfield. Zach Scott now to his left. Zach Scott looking at Kovar on the right-hand side. Instead used Freeberg. Safe play. Mears and Freeberg. Inside DC's half. 0-0, 32nd minute. Nothing dangerous, but Seattle has possession. Freeberg off of Sarvis. Again, he'll come to Zach Scott. Zach Scott now makes a move, come forward. Oh, little short pass to Evenshitz, knocked down by Jeffries. And here goes Lamar Nagel. He's making a run. Little tomahawk kick away.
Well done,
Stephen Fry.
Well done. In today's game, the goalie has to almost play sweeper because teams attack so quickly, and that was fantastic from Stephen Friday. Lamar Nagel was in. It's a great ball over the top, but that came from a Zach Scott misplaced pass. He had two good runs. Dylan Remick and Evenshitz both made great runs forward on this left-hand side. Zach Scott missed them, and Sounders were almost caught on the counter-attack, but great quick thinking from Stephen Fry, and he comes out with some kind of samurai kick and kicks the ball out of bounds.
I left Brad Evans all alone. Here comes DC once again into Seattle's area. Sarvis, Espindola, back to Kemp. Now they're at midfield. Jeffrey and Sarvis will sit there right in front. They really have two guys in front of their back four. They are tough to break down. Now they move forward to the 5'3" Acosta, taking on Ozzy. He doesn't do it. Zach Scott taken on by Nagel. Out for a goal kick. That was a great battle, Nagel and Zach Scott. We're going to see that all day. Zach Scott's been so consistent the last few matches. Goal kick, Seattle Sounders.
So far this season, Zach Scott is proven to be Mr. Reliable. And there, once again, he had to stick to Lamar Nagel. It was a fantastic cross from Acosta. Was an even better run from Lamar Nagel, dashing across the near post. Zach Scott went step by step with Lamar Nagel. Lamar wanted the corner kick there. Referee deciding that there was no touch off Zach Scott. Sounders get a goal kick, but the game's balanced right now. Seattle dominated the opening part of this game, but DC have found their way and they're looking dangerous.
Oh, Acosta with a nice move over Brad Evans. Now he tries to get in the middle. He does find Nagel. Oh, kicks it over the bar. He'll want that back. Great movement by Acosta. Flicks it twice over Brad Evans and got rid of it as Evans was closing him down. Goes through one man all the way to Nagel, over the bar, goal kick once again.
Acosta is special. He's a special player. He's very active.
Another back pass. Stephen Fry, I'm sorry, Steve, that was too close for comfort for me.
Well, the Sounders are their own worst enemy right now. They're giving too much giveaways here that's allowing DC to launch these counter-attacks. And Acosta, if you give him time and space, he'll show you how good of a player he is. Lamar Nagel once again is going to want that one back. Tried to bend the ball into the top corner, misses the target. But if Sounders dominate the first 25 minutes of this game, the last 10 minutes has been all DC United.
As Andreas Evenshitz and Stephen Fry having words about communication and where to take the ball. I'll tell you later in the game, we're going to see Ozzy Alonso as Ozzy and Ziggy Schmidt are both chatting. Ozzy thinks he was hit a little bit earlier on by Acosta. Ozzy's actually tall compared to Acosta. We'll see what happens in that matchup. Ozzy's waving on Zach Scott. Wants him to bring up the ball. Zach Scott, again, a tough giveaway to Nagel. Here comes DC quickly with 4 men. Back to Nagel. Brad Evans with a sliding tackle. Well done. Poor pass by Zach Scott. And Acosta holding up Freeberg. A foul on Acosta. Can't give those balls away deep in your own end, can you, Steve?
You can't do those. And Sounders, that's up to 5 or 6. And Zach Scott honestly has made 2 or 3 of them. They're giving the ball away to DC in DC's attacking half, and you don't need to give any extra encouragement to Acosta to start pulling the strings, because he does that all by himself. And you once again almost put Lamar Nagel in. It's a great sliding challenge by Brad Evans. But something I'm noticing here is Fabian Espindola is actually playing out wide now, and Lamar Nagel's pushing centrally. They'll switch every now and then as they're switching out, but once the ball gets rolling, every time Espindola draws out wide, Lamar's been very good at filling that centre forward spot and asking questions of the Sounders back line.
37 minutes, DC with a bit of possession here right at midfield. Nagel tries to flick it on. Ozzy picks it up. Very interesting down the right-hand side as Tony Alfaro and Nathan Sturgis are both warming up. Alfaro looks like he is coming in here shortly as he's walked out. He's warming up vigorously. Foul Franklin from Evenshitz. Will it be a yellow card? Bobby Boswell says to Evenshitz, move away now. You're done. You knocked him over. You don't need to say sorry. Rivero now pushes Evenshitz away. But to my right, Tony Alfaro, who made his debut coming in, played very well on Saturday versus New England. He played 50 minutes for the injured Brad Evans. Training staff is up. Dave Tenney is up. Chris Cornish is up, and I'm not sure who they're looking at. And a yellow card finally on Evenshitz. I don't think he let it go, and a yellow card finally brought out in the 38th minute. I'm not sure if it's Zach Scott or Brad Evans who they're looking at for Tony Alfaro, but he looks to be coming in the next couple of minutes.
If it's Brad Evans, then it's a reoccurrence of his injury, and if it's Zach Scott, it's because of the giveaways. Tony Alfaro, as we know, is very good on the board, and maybe Ziggy Schmidt just wants someone back there who's not going to pass the ball straight to DC United players and give them a lot of opportunities to attack.
Tony Alfaro, long ball here by Jeffrey, picked up easy by Stephen Fry. We saw it on Saturday. Ziggy Schmidt's been telling us all year that Tony Alfaro's got great feet. There's the pass. Now Morris is onside. Little one-on-one. He gets around Hamid, but does not get around, unfortunately, Taylor Kemp. Great ball. Now a big long drive. Oh, off the bar for Evenshitz. Boy, 30 yards out. Hamid did not have it covered. Went off his far post, far crossbar in the 39th minute. That would have been a stunner at the end of the first half.
I mean, we'd have had goal of the year candidate right there. What a fantastic strike from Andreas Evenshitz. He's all of 35 yards out, strikes the ball with that venomous left foot of his, comes right off the crossbar and out. But right before that, he played a tremendous pass for Jordan Morris, and Jordan Morris is going to want that one back. He has to go left-footed there for me. It's on his left side. He's not too comfortable using his left. Tries to flick it with the outside of the right foot. Doesn't get enough on it, and DC are able to defend it. And Jordan Morris, as his career progresses, is going to have to be able to use his left foot in those situations, because then at least he gets that on target.
And I'll tell you what, is that Zach Scott has suffered an injury. Zach Scott's on one knee. Chris Cornish, the great man, is coming over to take a look, but Tony Alfaro has already got his jersey off. He looks to come in, gives the card to the fourth official, and Zach Scott can only make it 39 minutes into this match versus DC United. That's too bad, and I hope it's nothing serious. You have 2 weeks before the Sounders hit the road to take on the Red Bulls, but Zach Scott's been as consistent as any defender this year.
He's been consistent, you know, his passing hasn't been great tonight, but defensively, you can never fault Zach Scott. He's tracking runners, he's putting his head where others won't even put their feet sometimes, makes tremendous blocks, he's a leader back there. But for the second game in a row, Tony Alfaro, the youngster, has to come in for an injured centre-back. He did his job at the weekend against Kai Kamara, defended really well for the most part. He's going to have to do that again tonight as DC United's attacking group is starting to look lively.
Made his debut 50 minutes in New England. Here he comes in for Zach Scott in the 40th minute. Hope the 2 weeks has everybody healed and healthy. Olix Anderson, Chad Marshall, now Zach Scott. Alfaro with the ball, little left footer down the line looking for Dylan Remick, but nicely done. Remick wasn't sure which way he would do, but it was a nicely floated ball right about midfield from Alfaro. Alfaro from Cal Dominguez, Santa Barbara, his hometown. Ziggy told us this afternoon he was happy with the results he had for him. All he had to do was come in and face Kai Kamara, one of the strongest strikers in the league. Brad Evans up for that goal kick. Jordan Morris tries to flick it to himself. Only man around him is Roldan. Lamar Nagel, he flicks to Acosta. Freeberg's right there. Nice pass right up the gut to Kovar. Even Schitz, who's he looking for? It goes around one man, gets another ball back from Boswell. Roldan on the left-hand side being taken on by Boswell. He'll hit, looking for Kovar. Cleared away by Kemp. Ozzy, right to the right, inside the 18. No, flicked on by Freeberg, but right at Hamid. Unlucky as that had a little bit of pace. Goes anywhere but right at Hamid. Maybe that's a result for the Sounders in the 42nd.
And a smart veteran play by Tyrone Mills. They're overlapping. Most young right backs try and smash that ball across goal for someone to run onto. Tyrone Mills had the presence of mind to see Freeberg had dropped back and found him, but just unfortunately for the Sounders, Eric Freeberg's shot is right at Bill Hamid. But it was a great start to the half by the Sounders. DC dominate the middle portion, and Seattle Sounders looking at their ending strong here. 3 great opportunities in the last 5 minutes.
Even Schitz looking for Morris, who just had his chest offside, but he's pushing that back line of Boswell and Apari. That's 2-3 times. That's 2 offside calls, but everybody's been looking for that single man Morris up top. 43rd minute. A good sign of a game is that it's flown by, and this first half is definitely flown by Seattle and DC. Franklin trying to get that ball, just heads it in the middle. Ozzy Alonso to his left is Roldan. Roldan's got Jeffrey on him. Looks like he'll take him down the line, gets around him. Can Jeffrey catch up? He knocks him around. Now he gets double teamed by Lamar Nagel, and unfortunately Roldan scoops that back leg. Nagel goes down, foul on Roldan. Need a little more support over there for Roldan. Hamid will take this free kick, pushes teams forward. Can't see if there's any ice on Zach Scott. I'm sure he's disappointed. Veteran Mr. Sounder out early. There's Alfaro up, commanding header. Looking good, looking comfortable for the rookie.
And I'll tell you, for Zach Scott to come out, you know it's an injury. He's a guy who played on a broken ankle for 3 months last year. So
Costa looking for that loose ball. Alfaro knocks it out. Franklin comes to throw that ball in. 44th minute. Tell you how much extra time here shortly. Nick De Leon running towards him. He wants Jeffries to do the same. Instead, Nick De Leon will throw it in. This is taking a bit of time. Sounders don't mind this, but a longer throw from De Leon as now Apari comes forward. Boswell comes forward. Short, of course. Here's Franklin. Back to Nick De Leon. Trailed by Morris. Franklin. Big cross in. Acosta, the smallest man on the park, gets ahead to it. Little bump from Roldan's hip, but still you can't have the young man who's 5'3" get that ball. He did, out for a Seattle goal kick.
he should have done better. It's a fantastic ball by Sean Franklin. DC United worked that throwing well. Looked like it's going to be a long throw in. They took it short. The cross comes in. Acosta creeps up on the wrong side of Christian Roldan, loses his mark, gets a good enough contact on it, and for a player of his caliber, very talented, he's going to want to put that on target. DC have missed some easy ones that they could have at least put on target. Another letter for the Sounders. But we've seen a very nice open game today. Both teams going for it. Ziggy Schmidt staying true to his word that they were going to be on the front foot, and Ben Olsen doing the same for DC.
While you're listening here on SoundersFC.com, don't panic. At halftime, we'll go away for about 12-13 minutes. Long ball from Acosta that Remick takes down. Nicely done. Nice turn by Ozzy to find Freeberg in the middle of the park. He's got De Leon on his side, but he gets rid of it to Morris. But Acosta gets the ball before Roldan can. Now another long ball to Espindola. Espindola spins Evans, still with the ball, passes other side. Long ball, that's not going to be gathered in. It is going to be gathered in, but Remick will get that loose ball. Just a minute of extra time was announced. Franklin knocks the ball out of bounds. Again, we'll be gone for about 10-12 minutes. Don't panic. You'll hear a little bit of the crowd in the background. You have TV to do at halftime, Steve?
I don't. I'm off at halftime, thankfully.
Here's a water, bro.
Thank you.
There's a water.
Much needed.
Yeah. Let's keep us hydrated. We'll worry about looking good tomorrow for the flight home. Seconds left in the first half. 0-0. Dylan Remick with the throw. Over Morris's head. Opari inside to Sarvis. Sarvis making a move. I don't think he'll have enough time. We'll see what referee Rivero. And there's the final whistle. 0-0 at halftime. Your thoughts about the first half, Steven?
The Sounders have to be happy. You're away from home, the second of 2 away games on an East Coast trip. It's 0-0. You've had your chances. You could have scored 2, maybe 3, but you also could have given up 1 or 2. But those have come from your own defensive mistakes. If you cut those out and then you put one of your chances away, you can easily leave DC with a win. It's a very winnable game. They've got to be happy.
Seattle DC headed to the locker rooms. We'll be back in a few moments for the second half right here on SoundersFC.com. Welcome back to RFK. My name is Matt Johnson alongside Steve Zakawani. Before we get you up to date here with the halftime stats, I usually like to look around MLS, the scores and the standings in the dying moments. Philadelphia Union, they just scored in the 84th. Herbers, one of their draft picks, scored in the 84th to get on top of the Columbus Crew. If that holds up, Philadelphia and Jim Curtin, what a great job he's doing this year. 23 points on 14 games. They'd be leading the East as they head into the break. DC United, obviously, in Seattle, 0-0. After we play, San Jose is playing Portland at 7:30. Tomorrow, Salt Lake at New York City FC. Houston at FC Dallas. Sporting KC at Los Angeles. Those three games are tomorrow. The red line right there is San Jose. They're on 20 points. The Sounders are 7 points from that red line. 5-6 teams ahead of Seattle are playing in the next couple days. The statistics: total shots for DC 11, 5 for Seattle. On goal, just 1 for DC. They've been flying all over, only 1. That was Espindala's goal, that shot that Stephen Fry did well going to his left. Sounders have 3 on target. 2 corner kicks for DC United, 0 for Seattle. Offsides, 1 for DC United. Seattle Sounders with 2. Bring in Steve Zakawani. And Steve, Sounders came out a little early. Nathan Sturgis warming up, but your thoughts here as both teams take the field heading into the second half?
From a neutral perspective, you got to want more of the same. It was a very open game. Both teams willing to attack, staying true to their coach's game plan. They're both set up to attack. For the Sounders, I'm putting myself in the shoes. If I was still a player, I would be happy with that first half overall. We've created enough to show me that if we take our chances, we can leave RFK Stadium and the nation's capital with the victory. The concerning aspect is DC has more than doubled Seattle's shots, but I didn't think DC were extremely dangerous of their own doing. A lot of it was Seattle giveaways. So limit the giveaways, the turnovers, keep doing what you're doing offensively. Surround those DC centre backs with lots of runs from Jordan Morris. Even just get high, Rodon and Eric Freeberg, keep doing what you're doing, and you have a very good chance to leave this place with 3 points.
Thanks for joining us. That's Steve Zakawani. My name is Matt Johnson. We appreciate you finding us here on SoundersFC.com. Referee Jose Carlos Rivero, ball in hand, ready for the second half. Both teams ready to go. Again, if you're just joining us, Tony Alfaro comes in, second match in a row. He makes his MLS debut on Saturday versus New England, coming in for Brad Evans, who took a little stinger from a ball to the side of his head. This time Zach Scott goes down. Alfaro comes in the 40th minute. Does well for the first 5 minutes he's going. Whistle blown. Kickoff ready to go. There's the kick. The second half kick is brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh. Long ball by DC United. Immediately wants Nagel to run. Tough tackle by Roldan. But Hamid gathers the ball deep in his own end. We'll see if that second half, like New England, that first half flew by also, and then it kind of dragged on, Steve. We'll see if the pace keeps up.
It'll be very tough in this heat for the Sounders to maintain what they're doing, because to do that, you're asking Jordan Morris to make another 6 to 8 hard 20-yard runs around the DC center backs. It might have to be a lot more possession-based for the Sounders second half, and then pick and choose your moments of when to get forward. But it all depends on when and if they can get that goal.
Nice ball. Kovar in the middle to Roldan. Now across from Evenshitz, looking for Morris, but it just passed his chest. Out for a goal kick. Nice movement. Kovar, Roldan, Evenshitz right away. It seems if you do it immediately, it beats this DC United club. If you wait a couple of seconds, they've got 6 guys behind the ball.
DC United have started both halves fast asleep, and the Sounders have tried to pounce on it. Almost gotten in the first half, almost getting into the second half, and it's a good sign that they're not going to let their foot off the pedal. They're going to keep going.
Espindola now outside here to Kemp. Acosta. Nice and easy. Back to Jeffrey. Jeffrey Sarvis in the middle. All the way to his right is Franklin. Franklin's got some space on Remick. He'll close it down. He does it nice. Off Remick for a throw-in. just getting underway. 47th minute, 0-0 DC Seattle. Seattle headed home tomorrow morning. Little 2-week break. Now inside to looking for Franklin, but Ozzy's all over it. Harassed, right in the middle of the park. Dangerous, but Tikovar. Kemp closes that down, but throw in Seattle. Ozzy always makes me nervous, but he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
He's one of the most comfortable players on the ball, so I'm sure Ziggy has a few heart attacks every time Ozzy starts dribbling across his own goal, but he does it so often and so well and gets his team out of pressure that you almost learn to live with that in Ozzy Alonso.
I shouldn't say he always makes me nervous. He makes me nervous when he goes right across goal in possession. Nice ball from Freeberg looking for Roldan. Can he go to his left? He does. There's Remick hustling down. Got the ball right at the 18. Slips and falls. He had 3 men in the box. Unfortunately, just trickles to Bill Hamid. That's too bad. He had a couple options to the right, including Morris and Kovar. Nice movement by Roldan early on in the second half. Jeffrey with possession. Apari out to the right. Sean Franklin. Jeffrey, patient. Sarvis taken on by Freeberg. Poor pass. Even shits closes down. Nagel back to Apari. Sarvis. 2 men on him, but he gets it over to his right. Franklin. Acosta. Poor ball. Ozzy gets it. There's nothing doing as Ozzy goes flying. Sarvis goes flying. Freeberg looking around. Pirouettes. Finds Ozzy. Alfaro. Very confident on the ball. Sprays it to his right. Nice ball by the young man. Mears. Right at midfield. It's got Nick De Leon on it. Now Freeberg. Ozzy. He'll keep it going to the far side. Dylan Remick. Don't slip this time, young man. Does not. Inside to Roldan. Back to Remick. He's taking on a couple different players. Shut down. Nagel with the loose ball. He has Acosta moving on. 2-on-4. And Ozzy with the sliding tackle knocks that out of bounds for a throw-in. But really, he only had Espindola. Nothing doing up front. Knocked around. Off Nagel. Throw-in Sounders. Right away. Dylan Remick to Ozzy. Roldan does a nice job. Now he wants Kovar to go. He's onside, but Hamid will come up, punch that ball around, out for a throw-in, but nice run by Kovar.
It was a smart run from outside in. He wasn't involved in the first half. Need to see a lot more of Aaron Kovar. Great pass by Christian Roldan. Good run by Aaron Kovar, but much like Stefan Fry in the first half, Bill Hamid doing a great job of playing sweeper for his team. Comes out, cleans that up, danger averted.
50th minute, Sounders in possession, 0-0. Seattle DC United. Seattle looking for their first win on the road this year. Also enduring a 3-game losing streak. Little push in the back, no call for Evenshitz now. A late call on Franklin. Good call as Evenshitz went a couple of yards to my left. I don't know what north, south, east, or west is there, Steve, so I can't help you out.
I have no idea.
Towards the Capitol, towards the White House is where Evenshitz went. Sounders possession midfield. Roldan, 51st minute. Mears and Evans right together. Mears takes control, looking for Kovar to make a run. He's getting by Kemp, but too far, unfortunate. Nice probing ball, but just too far by Mears. Scratch your way to the sidelines with Sounders FC Scratch for a chance to win $10,000 or lottery sideline couch seats. Take the money by the seat. My name's Matt Johnson with Steve Zakawani. 51st minute goal kick. DC United, Bill Hamid pushing his troops forward. Touches that ball strong. Tony Alfaro up, but beaten to the ball by Espindola. Acosta shoves Remick. Not offside. Evans was looking for offside. Said Acosta handled the ball with his wrist. Stefan Fry tells him, slow down, I got the ball. Everybody be fine, be calm. Talked to Fry a couple times this week. He says it's a matter of time, but he also said that he doesn't mean time's running out, but got to get some results here before we hit the halfway point. It's game 13 of a 34-game schedule. obviously not where they'd like to be. Not where they used to be. Morris, nice move. Looking for a couple different players. Freeberg gets it. There's Roldan. Now Freeberg just shoots it. I thought he was going for even shits. Here's Kovar with a drive. Off of Boswell. Ozzy finds Morris. Quick feet. Now a drive. But deflected right at Hamid. That was powerful. His first little deflection made it a harmless right to Hamid's arms.
Great piece of skill by Jordan Morris there. Another sustained attack from the Sounders. It's been a good start. 7 minutes into the second half. Not any testing shots on target yet. But what you want to do away from home is take as much sting as you can first from the team you're playing against and also the crowd. And the Sounders are doing both here. DC were able to turn it around in the first half. Not so much so far in the second half. They're definitely under pressure. Great start by the Sounders.
Opari, long ball, doesn't get past Remick. The loose ball, Nagel does pick up cheaply, and that's too bad. That's a foul by Evenshitz. That really came out of nothing, as Remick was in great position. Won't give the ball to Nagel, throws it to the middle of the park. Referee Rivero kicks it back over. No one working out vigorously for the Sounders. To our left, DC United bench warmers are warming up. They won't come in until about the 75th, 80th minute, according to Ben Olsen's plan. He doesn't use his bench till late in the match. As I said at the beginning, not a lot of veteran leadership on that bench, a lot of youngsters. Free kick for DC United. Taylor Kemp, the left back, goes all the way to the right side to take it. This has been a tough area. Here's Kemp's delivery. Nice ball in, looking for Acosta. Nothing doing. Aaron Kovar shielded him away. Wasn't dangerous, as Aaron Kovar had good defense on Acosta that time, Steve.
It was good defending by the Sounders. The reason you hold your line on a set piece is to give the goalkeeper enough room to work in, and the Sounders did just that. Acosta almost got on the end of it, but if he was a real threat, I imagine Stephen Fry would have come out of that. Eventually it just bounced wide aimlessly, and that's good for the Sounders.
Poor ball by Stephen Fry. You see that maybe once a game, maybe not even that. Out of bounds for a throw and immediately taken. Here's Acosta in the middle. Now can't get around Ozzy. That was no foul. Great defense by Ozzy Alonso inside to Freeberg. Now he'll turn around, pirouette. He'll use mirrors. He wants to go all the way to the other side for Evenshitz. There's Franklin shielding the ball away from Evenshitz, and he'll punt it forward over Remick. Here's Alfaro. No pressure really. Remick. He has Nagel slipping and sliding back to Alfaro all of a sudden. It's a final in Philadelphia, so Philadelphia will go into the break in first in the East. Jim Curtin's done a nice job with the young Union. Kovar, Mears, back to Mears. Now Brad Evans wants him to use Stephen Fry, and he does. Stephen Fry, big punch away. Alfaro flicks it forward. He didn't see that Dylan Remick was right there. Dylan's got to yell off Alfaro next time, but Alfaro knocks it off his head for a throw-in. DC United, 56th minute. 0-0. Matt Johnson, Steve Zakawani. Right here, you're home. Literally a home for everything Sounders on SoundersFC.com. While you're here, next time the Sounders are in action, US Open Cup on June 15th. We'll have it right here on SoundersFC.com. I believe later this evening, the Sounders will play the winner of Sacramento Republic FC versus the Kitsap Pumas. That match is later this evening in Sacramento. Down at Starfire. Poor record down at Starfire. 17-1-1 at Starfire in the US Open Cup. What is it? What is it about Starfire, Steve?
It's a magical place for US Open Cup nights. I know I never lost there when I played there for the Sounders. The fans are right on top of you. The atmosphere is charged. Not quite like CenturyLink, but because it's smaller, intimate, it's really hard for opposing teams who comes in to try and impose their will. And we've really had some great nights at Starfire.
MLS teams jump in the US Open Cup in the 4th round. So again, I even looked, it's not online later tonight. Sacramento Republic FC of the USL, Kitsap Pumas of the PDL. Tonight at 8 p.m. Bonnie Field in Sacramento. But that winner takes on your Sounders. Starfire June 15th right here on SoundersFC.com. I'll be there. Evenshitz over this free kick. Nicely done. Looking for Alfaro. Apari's got a lot of him. There's Ozzy Alonso with the drive, parried away by Bill Hamid. Alonso from 35 yards out, just nicely stroked it again. A cross in by Roldan, but that's easy for Hamid. What a ball by Ozzy Alonso. Easy as she goes. Look at that strike, Stephen.
Fantastic technique, a bouncing ball to get your knee and foot over that ball. Alonso does just that. The side volley hits him with a lot of venom, but the one thing is it's at a comfortable height for Bill Hamid, and a goalkeeper of his quality, it takes a lot more than that to beat them. Great strike by Ozzy, good save by Bill Hamid.
Even Shits picks up the loose ball. Boy, I'm impressed with Tony Alfaro this 2-game road trip. Even Shits looking for Mears. He finds a long ball. Loose ball gets to Brad Evans. Ozzy Alonso finds Remick down the left-hand side. Great ball there. Remick looking for Morris. Instead, he finds Kovar. Kovar and Hamid running for the ball. But Hamid will get that ball. And did Kovar clip him? Referee says yes. Kovar looks down, touches Hamid, helps him up as he just clipped his heel. But nice ball by Dylan Remick. An even better ball by Ozzy Alonso.
You know, the Sounders are definitely on top here, Matt, and the one thing you want to do when you're on top is take advantage and make the opponent pay and score. How often in this second half have we said Acosta, Lemar Nego, or Fabian Espindola? There were stretches in that first half where we said the name every few seconds. They've not been in the game because the Sounders are once again dominating possession, getting wide, dangerous crosses, beginning to create chances, but the one thing they're not doing is having that killer instinct in scoring.
Boswell punches it out from deep. Brad Evans and Espindola go up off Evans for a throw-in. I just saw a replay of that drive by Ozzy Alonso. Hamid didn't see it until the very last second. He was screened by a couple players in front of him. As Kemp crosses it in, nothing doing. Nick De Leon gets that ball about 30 yards from Stephen Fry's goal. Now Jeffrey, big cross over to the right-hand side. Franklin, poor touch to himself. Dylan Remick, nice job getting into even Shits, looking for Morris. Deep ball, cleared away by Apari. Sarvis, Franklin in midfield over on the right-hand side. Sarvis inside to Nagel. Taken on by Ozzy Alonso. Great defense by Ozzy. Nothing doing for that offensive movement in DC United. Back to Stephen Fry looking for even Shits. Oh, nice idea headed down to Morris, but too far. Boswell picks up over to his left, Taylor Kemp. Kemp goes down the line. He's looking for Espindola, who's taking on Evans in the corner. That's a good place for him. Now he crosses, looking for Acosta, but he went too far. Stephen Fry makes an easy catch before Jeffrey gets the ball. Great defense, Steve.
Good defending. Espindola, as we know, likes to drag centre-backs out wide. Brad Evans more than happy to go with him. The cross comes in. It's not dangerous as DC only have 1 or 2 guys in the box. Eludes both of them. Easy gab off of Stephen Fry.
Boy, Freeberg just made 4 guys from DC United miss out to the right of Kovar. Even Shits, Kovar, back to Brad Evans. Makes Brad run a little bit. It's great to see Brad healthy. He was up going right away. Just knocked down by that ball from Kai Kamara on Saturday. Past concussion protocol, everything good with Evans. Ozzy, midfield, Freeberg. Freeberg now Roldan. Roldan's got Remick to his left. He'll use him. There goes Remick, making a nice run. Can he make the cross? He cuts it inside. Freeberg top of the box. Looks around, little drive by even Shits, nothing doing. Ozzy gets a loose ball, upended. Acosta now. Onside is Espindola. Espindola being chased by Evans. Cut it in towards Stephen Fry. Now top of the box. Acosta taken on by Ozzy and Freeberg, nothing doing. Espindola had no ideas. Acosta had a little bit of space, but Sounders surrounded him again. Another defensive movement for the Rave Green.
It's good defending by the Sounders, but if you're DC United, you've got to get more from that counter-attack. Espindola is definitely onside as he's inside his own half when the ball is played. A player of his quality, once you get into the box, you've got to ask questions of the centre-backs. He doesn't do that. Passes that responsibility to Acosta. He runs out of ideas. The Sounders escape, but for DC, it's their first chance to get out on the break, and they definitely did not take advantage of that.
Ozzy Alonso gets around a couple DC United players, but nothing doing. Remick all the way to his left. Boy, if you're listening on SoundersFC.com, I hope you're appreciating what Steve Zakawani, he is painting the picture perfectly, making the job easy for myself as Evenshitz knocks the ball right to the 12-yard marker, but Boswell clears it free. Steve painted that picture perfectly as, unfortunately, Evenshitz is offside. Third time for Seattle. Espindola really should have did more with that. A big break, bad ball by Seattle, and Espindola was on the move. Here's Sarvis on the right-hand side. Here's Acosta down the right, beating Alfaro. Alfaro now drags it back. Nicely done. If you have to give up a corner, that's a decent one to give up. As Acosta wanted to cut inside, Alfaro wouldn't let him. Knocks it out for DC's third corner of the evening.
Very similar pattern to the first half. You know, the Sounders come out and dominate and then don't take advantage of it by scoring. DC begins to find some energy and find some life, and they're slowly getting back into it. That's the second attack of the second half here. They've come close together. They win a corner, and the Sounders, who have not been great on set pieces, got to stand strong.
Over the corner, Spindola brings it in. Ozzy clears it away pretty deep. There's Remick. Now it's all the way almost to about 40 yards out. All the way to the right-hand side, DC United. They've got a guy overlapping. He'll use Acosta. Acosta, another diving tackle. That's a beautiful tackle by Jordan Morris. Another corner kick, but a great defense. Fourth corner for Seattle, and here comes Aguilar. Miguel Aguilar will come in for DC United. Now, will they come in on this corner kick? Everyone's stopped. Evidently not. They'll take the corner instead. Spindola over it. Low. There's Ozzy Alonso. Go out for a throw-in. Nope. Oh, poor touch by Spindola. Roldan grabs it, knocks it back to Ozzy, goes forward with Kovar. Two collide. I don't know if this was a foul or someone got hit in the head. So the referee, Rivera, wanted to stop immediately. Kovar asked him, was that a foul? And I still haven't seen his arm go up, but DC United will make the change. Lamar Nagel out. Miguel Aguilar in. Lamar Nagel, obviously, Steve wanted to get a point against his old team. Not going to happen tonight.
And he's visibly frustrated, as you would be. Definitely was motivated for this game. Had some good looks on goal, actually, for Lamar. He's going to go home and look back on those and wish he could have done better. His shift is over at 65 minutes here. DC United beginning to pile on a little bit of pressure on the Sounders. And this is that point in the game when you're the away team. You always know it's coming. You have to weather that storm, stand strong, and hopefully for the Sounders, the next time they're on top, they take advantage of a goal.
5 seasons with Seattle. Lamar Nagel, he hits the bench. He is frustrated, just as Steve points out. He kicks a water bottle to his left. Aguilar, he's had 5 appearances thus far, no starts. He was a 17th selection in the 2015 MLS Super Draft. It was a foul on Kovar, the ball poor. Brad Evans clears away. Throw in DC United. 65th minute. Steve Zakawani to my right. My name is Matt Johnson. 0-0. We're watching a pretty entertaining match here at RFK Stadium. Bring your fan, drink some water. Enjoy the match. De Leon throws it in. Nothing doing. Poor. Brad Evans scoops it up. Roldan just had Freeberg just behind him. Unfortunately, Taylor Kemp picks that up. Back to Apari. Apari, I think you can get around, but he's sure good in the air, isn't he?
He's good in the air. He's a very physical lad, very similar to some of the New England defenders that Jordan Morris faced. The way to beat them isn't at their physical game. It's to make them run, make them chase you. So lots of running, and we saw a lot more in the first half of Jordan Morris. Not as much so far in the second half, but again, it's always very difficult to maintain that level of intensity for 90 minutes, which is why you usually want to score and take advantage when you're on top, as much as the Sounders were.
Nothing going on right now as DC's just working the back line. Now Aguilar comes to find a ball from Apari, but back to Apari at midfield to the right of Franklin. DC United. Seattle really letting them do this, as Seattle's got 10 men back. Acosta, Kemp, right below us here, to the right of Stephen Fry. De Leon, middle of the park. Now they're probing a bit more. Sean Franklin, taken on by Remick, drops it. Jeffrey, about 40 yards from goal. Sarvis. Now into Spindola. Great defense by Brad Evans. Espindola goes down. Brad Evans gets the ball first. Kovar now finds Evenshitz here midfield. Evenshitz drops the ball to Roldan. Roldan's got 3 Sounders in front of him. He'll go back 1 to Mears. Side pass to Ozzy. Roldan taken on by Kemp. Nothing doing. Oh, nice ball in between Ozzy and Mears is Acosta. But boy, how many times, as Ozzy says, don't bring that over here, has Ozzy done that in this match? 8, 9, 10. Wonderful defense by Ozzy Alonso.
And there's no one better, in my mind, in MLS than Alonso at that, breaking up attacks from the opposing team, deciding that the opposing team's star man, their number 10, their attacker, that's my job, my responsibility, I'll stop him. And more often than not, he comes out on top. But the earlier play, Brad Evans, tremendous piece of defending on Fabian Espindola. He was trying to just spin him and get into the box, and you can see Brad has made that centre-back position home now. Feels very comfortable there and very impressive for a guy who spent his whole career playing in midfield.
Here he is once again, but he's tripped by Acosta. They got their feet tangled. Acosta didn't mean it, but it was a foul on Acosta. Evans nicely done tracking back. The back 4 is Mears, Evans, Alfaro, Remick. Couple names back there, obviously, with Alfaro coming in for Zach Scott. Zach Scott coming in for Chad Marshall last week. Alfaro coming in for an injured Zach Scott. Zach on the bench. As Rivero's telling Stephen Fry to wait for the whistle. And I don't understand any of this at all. As the captain, Brad Evans, is kind of coming back to protect Stephen Fry. I'd say get on with it. Stephen Fry was saying the exact same thing. Unfortunately, he's looking for Kovar, went out of bounds for a DC throw-in. Dylan Remick having a nice match. Alfaro a nice match. And of course, Ozzy Alonso in front of him. Bam! There's Brad Evans, another header. Clears it away. Freeberg holding off Nick De Leon, and he's got possession, goal side. There's Freeberg, nice move, goes to his left. There's Roldan. Will he take a shot? Nope. Hold back. Oh, unfortunately, he had Remick on the left-hand side. Here comes Sarvis. 4 DC United members on 5 Sounders. Out wide left to Acosta. Aguilar's got his arms up. Sarvis, he can drill him from there. Get on him. And they do. Alfaro, oh, short, nothing doing. There's Acosta. Oh, unfortunately, Alfaro got between his feet. Ball went right to Acosta, 20 yards out. He wanted to chip. He was in between 2 lines also. Acosta had a chance there.
I mean, there's so much to unpack there. Christian Roldan has to do better on the Sounders attack. When Dylan Remick makes a 70-yard run to support, you have to reward your left back by playing him in. He doesn't do that. The Sounders get caught. Tony Alfaro's just got to clear that ball. Takes a touch in a dangerous spot, falls to Acosta, and he has to do much better than that. It's a great opportunity on the top of the box, the 18-yard box, trying to find that far corner, doesn't get his foot around it, tries to curl it, and the ball ends up completely 5, 6, 7 yards wide. He has to do a lot better there, but a lot of broken plays. This game's there for the taking. The final 20 minutes or so of regular time here, it's there for the taking. It's going to come down to which team really wants to win it, and the Sounders, still pushing forward, still playing guys high, are showing me that they do want to win it, but have they got what it takes to go and do that? 70
minutes, 0-0. Play on as Alfaro hit Espindola in the back. Here comes Kemp down the left-hand side to take on Mears. Mears right there. Great defense. Another sliding tackle on Kemp's cross, out for a throw-in. What a veteran move by the Englishman down the left-hand side. Nick De Leon going to take this throw-in. DC United going to make another change here shortly. Julian Boucher will come in for Ben Olsen's squad. There's Nick De Leon's long throw, looking for Apari. Goes over his head into Brad Evans' thigh. Now, unfortunately, I didn't see that at all. That's a corner kick to DC off Kovar. Instead, they're saying it flicked off at De Leon for a goal kick.
I think everyone in the stadium except the only man who matters saw that as a corner kick to DC. The Sounders get fortunate there, and it's only a goal kick.
Rivero says it went off of Apari. Here's the change for DC United. Acosta out. Man, I mentioned Boucher in, 23-year-old. He's appeared in 5 matches. but basically play behind Espindola. Acosta with a nice, boy, he was everywhere this evening, was he not?
Yeah, it's a surprising change there because Acosta's been definitely one of the more livelier players, was linking up well with the attackers around him, Lamar when he was in there, and Fabian Espindola. So to see him come out with a 0-0 game, 20 minutes to go, a game that's finally poised, a bit of a surprising change there from Benos.
He was still busy right towards the end, wasn't he?
Absolutely. So that's a break for the Sounders. They're not complaining.
Brad Evans looking to get around Espindola. That's a foul on Espindola and a yellow card. Everything's surprising me about this referee, Steve. I thought that was just a challenge. He got him a bit late, but he was right there, and he just kind of knocked him down. He didn't hack him to the ground.
No, he's slightly late, but you see both players shake hands and get up. Referee just got to blow the whistle and let the game go.
He didn't club him.
No need for a yellow card there.
What do I know? I play over 40. Sounders are going to make their first real change. Their first change came in the 40th minute as Zach Scott came off for Tony Alfaro. Long ball. Boswell clears. Freeberg knocks it around. Looks to be Jovan Jones to come in for the Sounders. We'll wait to see who comes out. Maybe Andreas Evenschitz. Evenschitz, a much better match than Saturday against New England, you could say.
He was more active, got a lot more touches, came close with the 35-yard rocket that hit the crossbar. And Jovan Jones coming in here for the Sounders is usually a left back, but for his national team, he plays in that attacking role. And I want to see him there because no defensive responsibilities as much as he has when he's on the left back position. His job will be to get down that wing, get forward, combine with Remick, and get crosses into the box.
He combines with Freeberg immediately. Freeberg back to Jones, who's busy the second he steps on the pitch. Now Freeberg's moving into Jovan Jones. That's a nice ball. Little misstep, but it knocks it off Apari for a throw-in. Nicely done because he was on an island deep in that corner.
That's why he's in there, to make those runs, be busy, push DC United's backline further back. He's a very quick lad. His end production hasn't always been there. Hopefully it is tonight.
Throw in. That would have been offside on Freeberg. He had to let it go, unfortunately. Goal kick in the 75th minute. 0-0. Seattle, DC United. Steve Zakawani, my name's Matt Johnson. Thanks so much for finding us here on SoundersFC.com. We'll be with you on the 15th of June, the U.S. Open Cup. Otherwise, you won't hear from us until the 19th of June. We have Red Bull Arena. That's nationally televised. I believe Taylor Graham will be joining me back east. That'll be fun to do a game with Taylor. Knocked off Kovar. Bobby Boswell gets to it before Morris. Freeberg picks up the loose ball. Can he do anything with it? He'll go on the right at the 18. He'll look for Jovan Jones, but he wasn't moving the same way he was. Now Jones will try to get around Franklin. Can't. Back to Freeberg. Fakes it. Shot across. Ozzy. Kovar turns. Shot wide. Nothing doing for Bill Hamid. Nice movement. They want to get Jovan Jones interested and or busy, don't they, down that left-hand side?
They do, and Freeberg finding Jovan Jones again there for the second time. Forced him slightly wide. The pass was a tad bit overhit, or maybe Jovan Jones wasn't moving quickly enough, depending on who you ask out there. But he's come in, the first 5 minutes, he'll be happy with what he's seeing, but a lot of energy going forward. As I said, playing in that left wing position, not the same defensive energy he has to expand as when he's a left back, and hopefully that helps him to really be a threat going forward.
Spindola flicks it on, looking for Boucher. But nothing doing. Alfaro had position, but it goes meekly into Stephen Fry's hands. Fry was going to roll it to his left, to his right. Instead, he'll punt it. He'll throw it down on the ground. Strike it from the ground. Good 60 yards looking for Kovar and Morris. Kovar is always going to come second to Boswell. Evans grabs that ball. King knocks it forward. Mears. Spindola flicks it to Boucher. Boucher's got Aguilar to his right. Instead, he'll use Franklin right in midfield. Franklin to his right. Aguilar. Back to Franklin. In the middle of Sarvis. Sarvis will come full circle all the way to this side to Kemp. Kemp with possession. No one's really moving for him. Didn't find Jeffrey, who was in the middle. Now Jeffrey has the ball right at midfield. Looking for Espindola. Nice tackle by Alfaro to get the ball away from Sarvis. There's Jovan Jones down the left-hand side. He gets around Jeffrey. Foul, no foul on Jeffrey. Rivero referee says he got all ball. Here comes Boucher to the right-hand side. Poor pass, goal kick. Another poor call by the referee in my mind, but I'm 70, 80 yards away and he's 15 yards away. Looked like Jovan Jones was streaking down that left-hand side, Steve.
It's a foul, and Jovan Jones just having a word with the referee, but Ziggy Schmidt wasn't happy there because after Jovan Jones was fouled and there was no call, he stayed on the ground complaining. Ziggy Schmidt needs him to get up, track back in, because that was on his side where DC created that overlap, and but for a better pass, DC United would have been in.
Long ball by Fry, again looking for Kovar. Kovar went 90 against New England. Ziggy Schmidt said that was a positive as he's hustling around in the 78th minute. Ozzy Alonso close down Boucher. Jeffrey with the ball. Boucher's not going to get around Ozzy, trying to tangle with him. Off drilled Remick, off Boucher, throw in Seattle. Sounders FC summer camps are now open. Camps are available across the state of Washington for all ages and skill levels, giving kids a chance to have fun, improve their skills, and meet players. Sign up for your youth soccer player today at soundersfc.com/camps. Basically, all you have to do is go to /camps after you get done listening to us. There's Freeberg tracking down a loose ball. Unfortunately, Jeffrey gathers. Sarvis in the middle. Boucher inside the Sounders area. Brad Evans right there to clear it away right to Jovan Jones. Jovan Jones, is he going to make Franklin work a little bit? He's going to take him on. Inside to Morris, can he get it back to him? There's Jovan Jones, one-on-one with Hamid! Hamid with the big stop! Morris, there it is! Morris with the drive, the goal, the Sounders the lead in the 79th minute! Great movement by Jovan Jones. Jordan Morris comes to the Sounders bench. The Sounders take a lead thanks to Jordan Morris' 5th goal of the season. 1-0 Seattle.
Give Jovan Jones a lot of credit there. Took on 2-3 DC United defenders. Played a great 1-2 with Jordan Morris, and once he got in, he struck the ball hard and low, forced Bill Hamid into a save, and credit to Jordan Morris. He stayed with the play, took a good first touch, and it was a very confident finish by the Sounders rookie there. Seattle Sounders up 1-0. I've got to say that they've deserved the goal. They've deserved the goal tonight. I've got to say that.
Jordan Morris, a great ball. I'll tell you, there's so many good plays on that whole instant that Jovan Jones on frame made Bill Hamid work. It comes right to Morris. Morris has 2 DC defenders coming at him on frame, back of the net. 1-0 Seattle. Tons of Seattle fans made the trip. They're going nuts to our left. Let's see if Seattle can hold off a couple rushes here as the ball's immediately in their 18. Jovan Jones calmly passes back to Ozzy Alonso. Midfield DC United, 10 minutes for the Sounders to hang on to this lead. They're looking for their first win on their road, break this 3-game losing streak. In position right now. DC with possession. Boucher outside to Franklin. Franklin being shut down by Jones. That's going nowhere, way over the bar. And now Stephen Fry will take his time. Ben Olsen will make another change. This young man is quite a story. Alhaji Kamara made his debut last Friday. He scored 33 seconds into his debut, the quickest goal ever for a debut in the MLS, as he's out for Nick DeLeon. Nick DeLeon really disappeared in the second half, did he not?
He did, and that's because the Sounders starved DC United of possession more and more. And DeLeon is a guy who, when he's on the ball and things are going his way, is very active and effective. But that wasn't the case tonight. A big 10 minutes in the Seattle Sounders season is coming up here.
Great point, Steve. Jordan Morris, the right-hand side, with possession. Nicely done, back to Freeberg. Freeberg, Mears, cuts it inside to Ozzy. Ozzy to the right with Freeberg. Inside to Roldan. They all just play keep away now. Unfortunate Morris, but it is knocked out by a DC United member, out for a Seattle throw-in. That's a way to take some time off the clock, breathe deep. Mears with the throw-in right in front of Ziggy Schmid. All three subs used now by Ben Olsen, Kamara, Boucher, Aguilar. Kamara up front with Espindola. Big man. Alfaro's in his pocket, but throwing Mears down the right-hand side. This is great stuff by the Sounders, just knocked out by Boswell as the throw-in was trying to get to Jordan Morris. Sounders have the ball in their hand. The clock's in the 83rd minute. There goes Kovar, throw into Morris instead. He's knocked down. DC in possession. Sarvis now. Sarvis too far. There's Ozzy Alonso. Can he sprint Jovan Jones? He does! Jovan Jones with his left foot! Flicks it in the back of the net! Jovan Jones looks to put the game away! A goal for Jovan Jones. Great pass by Ozzy Alonso as he picks up the loose ball off the Sarvis. All of a sudden, dreamland for Sounder fans. 2-0 Seattle.
And that looks to be game, set, and match. The DC players hanging their heads. But Jovan Jones, what a cameo appearance. Comes on as a substitute, as a left midfielder, where he hasn't played for this team so far. Plays a big role in the first goal. And that's a finish that even Clint Dempsey will be proud of. He's 1v1. Keeper's rushing out towards him. A nice little dink over the goalkeeper. But Ozzy Alonso gets all the credit and all the love there. Wins the ball as he's so often done. But the underrated part of his game is his passing. And he plays a pass that any number 10 in this league would be proud of. Perfect weight. Jovan Jones doesn't need a touch. It's one touch finish right over the goalkeeper. 2-0. And it really does look to be game, set, and match.
Boy, Jovan Jones comes in. Boy, just like you said, he plays that position for Trinidad, and he does it well. Here goes the Sounders on a move again. Aaron Kovar to the right-hand side. Jordan Morris taking on Opari. He'll calm it right down. It's about 18 yards out. Just back flick to Freeberg. Nicely done. Back to Mears. All possession now. Might have broke the spirit for DC United. Ozzy Alonso started that movement as Sarvis kicked the ball to himself. Ozzy was right there, and he had Jovan Jones shooting down the left-hand side in for the second goal. Seattle up 2-0 in the 85th minute, but hold on as Aguilar's looking for Kamara. Kamara to the left-hand side. Here's Mears. Kamara gets the ball before it goes out of the over the touchline. Back pass. Boucher taking on Roldan, gets around him, drops it, but it's way over the crossbar. Easy. And now the referee even knows what Stefan Fry is going to do. Referee Rivero right at the 18 telling Stefan Fry, keep it moving. Stefan Fry doesn't care.
Well, DC United had a chance right there, and that kind of magnifies or emphasizes just how good Osvaldo Alonso's pass was, because Aguilar had the same look, same opportunity to play Kamara in, and he plays him almost to the corner flag. When Alonso had that look, he played Jovan Jones perfectly into the 18-yard box, and as I said, Jovan Jones with a finish that any number 9 striker in this league would be proud of.
Jovan Jones, his first goal of the season. He's not going to get an assist. Brad Evans pushed in the back by Espindola. Fabian Espindola. Jovan Jones could get an assist, except for it goes off the goalie. He could have a goal and assist. That's not how it works. As Ziggy Schmid is going to make his final change. Boy, the second change was a good one with Jovan Jones. Hercules Gomez coming in. It looks like Aaron Kovar's evening's done. Aaron Kovar's done a very nice workman-like evening. Steve, your thoughts on Kovar's evening?
He's done well. Not as effective going forward as he was at New England, but he's a guy who can play 90 minutes every day. He won the Sounders fitness test in preseason, can run all day, and even though his touch was lacking for the most part tonight, he did what you're supposed to do when you're not quite on your game with the ball, and that's just work hard. He worked hard, he tracked back, he was honest defensively, and he played his role in tonight's victory.
Boy, there's Brad Evans popping the ball away as Alfaro slips and falls from an Aussie back pass. Kamara was right there to pounce, but just as Steve said earlier, you just got to punch it away, and that's exactly what Brad Evans does, and that's exactly what Alfaro does that time. All the way to Bill Hamid, who will gather in the 87th minute. Seattle up 2-0. The fans to our left are going crazy. They made the trip, many of them, the 2-game swing. Oh, Tough play by Jovan Jones, but there goes Hercules Gomez from a nice pass. Boy, that almost looked like a straight leg Opari tackle, but nicely done as he got the ball away from Hercules Gomez. Gomez with an attempted tackle on Kemp. Ozzy to Alfaro, all the way back to Stephen Fry. Roll, roll, roll. Left-footed punch right about midfield. There's Jovan Jones. Boy, he's active. Freeberg, Morris. He's got Gomez to his right. He'll use Jones just a little dink. Was maybe my man of the match, Ozzy Alonso. I know Jovan Jones could be up for it, but Ozzy Alonso has thwarted everything that DC United's brought his way. He actually started that run, gets the assist on the last, maybe the clinching goal by Jovan Jones, Ozzy Alonso that is. Freeberg, he'll spray it across to Tony Alfaro. He'll just drop it awkwardly to Stephen Fry, no worries. So he kicks it clear. Jovan Jones, Sean Franklin over his back. Franklin knocks it off Jovan Jones' head for a throw-in. Immediately into Jared Jeffrey. 88th minute, 2-0 Seattle. Flick on, nothing doing. Stephen Fry will wait for Kamara to come until he has to pick it up at the last second. He does. What's this mean, this result, if it stands, Steve, as the Sounders have 2 weeks off? Good feeling heading into the break.
It's more than 3 points. The 3 points are nice, but it's the performance. The Sounders finally put together, for the most part, a 90-minute performance. They got more than just 1 or 2 guys playing well. There were 6, 7, 8, 9 guys out there who were on their game today, and that's what counts.
Spindola taking on Alfaro. Left foot. Nothing doing. Aguilar taken away by Ozzy Alonso. Freeberg and Ozzy Alonso double team Aguilar. Sounders get that ball. Knocked out of bounds by Eric Freeberg. Another great piece of defending by Ozzy Alonso.
You know, we won the US Open Cup in this stadium back in 2009, 7 years ago, and Osvaldo Alonso was huge that night. 7 years on, another big performance in this stadium from Alonso. He's been everywhere. Tackles, interceptions, assists. You can't put a price on a player like that who does it all for this team.
Commanding header by Brad Evans. Out, Jeffrey with the ball, finding Kamara top of the box, looking to spin. Instead he'll use Aguilar to the right. Remick closes down. There's Evans in the ball, just over. Flicked by Jeffrey. Just inches over the bar. Nice run by Jeffrey. Nothing doing. Brad Evans is asking for a little more defensive help up top. As that ball was swung in by Aguilar, flicked by Jeffrey just over the bar to keep it 2-0. That might have made it a little tight for Sounder fans in the 90th minute.
But that's what DC haven't done. They haven't got the ball wide enough and whipped crosses in and made the Sounders team have to defend. In the first half, they were good going forward offensively. In the second half, the DC attack really, for the most part, disappeared. And as Acosta left the field, their attack left the field with him. And the Sounders have had it relatively easy most of the second half. It's as comfortable a 2-0 win as you can get away from home.
Eric Freeberg doesn't like where the ball was being placed by Taylor Kemp. Referee Rivero says, let me handle it. Kemp with a long ball forward. We just struck 90 minutes. We'll have 3 extra minutes of added time, minimum. There goes my stopwatch. There goes Jovan Jones once again. He's taking on Jeffrey. Loose ball. Aguilar has it on the right-hand side to Boucher. Boucher will probably come this way. He does. Kemp overlapping. But Hercules Gomez and Mears behind the ball. Crosses back, nothing doing, nothing dangerous. Sounders will let them do that all game long. Franklin, right-hand side, down to Aguilar, taken on by Remick. Remick with another nice outing this evening. Now inside, Kamara tried to punch it forward, loose ball. Ozzy punches it deep. Jeffrey back inside. There's Remick. Sarvis. Right at midfield, bowled over by Hercules Gomez. He knows exactly what he did. He just stopped the movement. No card. Great foul by Gomez. Alfaro, Kamara. Loose ball goes to the right. Aguilar. Here comes Remick. Cross in. Alfaro misses. Kamara misses. Franklin looks to come back in. There's Brad Evans. Handball, no handball. Now it was a handball. Nice call. Handball. The ball too far up his arm on Jeffrey. He knows it. He's frustrated. and we're a minute and a half into stoppage time.
Not sure why DC United have waited until the 90th minute to start getting crosses into the box, because they now all of a sudden look dangerous again, but they haven't done that. It's been a very comfortable defensively for the Sounders trying to hold this DC attack, but you gotta give credit to Ziggy Schmidt. He came out and said, we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna play 2 attacking mids up in front of Osvaldo Alonso, and they've had good games, and it set the ascendancy for this team. They went into this game knowing that they were going to be on the front foot, and for the most part they've done that. It's a massive win for this club.
Offside on Opari, as he's the big man they let up front in desperation mode. You have Opari, Espindola, Kamara, Aguilar, and offside. Third for DC. Stephen Fry taking his time. Less than a minute left in this match. Another ball looking for Hercules Gomez. All the way to the corner. Out for a throw-in. Very deep in the corner. Referee says no, can't go farther back. And it's all the way next to the post. I'll be looking to see Ziggy Schmidt. This is going to be a big exhale here momentarily, Steve.
And he deserves a lot of credit, because his game plan he laid out for this team. He didn't say, let's keep it tight and hope we can win. He set his team out there to win. The players, credit to them, have responded to their coach's game plan, done what he asked of them. 2 quality finishes. Jovan Jones coming on and playing his role. Osvaldo's also my man of the match. Brad Evans not too far behind, but it's been a team performance, well deserved, and it makes our flight back to Seattle tomorrow that much more pleasant.
Seconds left, no time left. Jose Carlos Rivero blows the whistle. Sounders get their first road win of the year. Stephen Fry gets his 4th shutout of the year. Jordan Morris, his 5th goal. Jovan Jones clinches it. Goodbye, Steve Zakawani. Have a good evening. We'll see you on the TV. Jordan Morris, his 5th. Jovan Jones, his 1st. All Sounders congratulatory hugs everywhere for that team. Well played by the Sounders. Steve Zakawani was saying it. Man of the match for me, Ozzy Alonso, just decisive back in the Seattle end. Ziggy Schmidt deciding to have Ozzy in front of the back 4, 2 in front, Roldan and Freeberg, 3 more in front of that, not holding back, going for it in this hot, muggy air of DC. They come away 2-0 winners. They improved to 5-7-1, 16 points. Sounds a lot better than the 13 points they came in with. 2-week break for MLS play. Again, June 15th, Starfire Sports Complex, US Open Cup, 4th round. You can hear it all right here on SoundersFC.com. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you finding us here on SoundersFC.com. For Steve Zakawani, Connor, appreciate your help. Ryan back in the truck. Again, thanks for listening. Today's final, 2-0 Seattle. We'll catch you on the 15th. Thanks for listening.